Welcome everyone to today's workbook discussion on Zoom. Welcome also to all who join us later by watching or listening to this recording. I'm Laura Fenimore, the Chief Development Officer and Volunteer Coordinator with the Foundation for Inner Peace, the scribe authorized publisher of A Course in Miracles. We really appreciate your partnership with the Foundation. And if you want to learn more about the Foundation or A Course in Miracles, please visit ACIM.org. If you feel inspired to make a love offering, please visit ACIM.org, and at the top of the page, you will find the word donate. All donations support the work of the Foundation. Each session will be delving into a discussion of the workbook lessons in A Course in Miracles, led by a moderator team of volunteers that work with the Foundation. What does discussion mean? In our gatherings here, we welcome the Holy Spirit to join us. Through this presence, our meeting becomes a joining of equals to commune with the Holy Spirit's guidance to experience miracles together. Some of the moderators here also support our social media channels, and if you'd like a list of FIP resources, please email support@acim.org, and we'll be happy to share the resource list with you. Now let's begin our discussion. Welcome.
Wonderful.
Take it away, Manu.
Thank you. Welcome everybody to today's discussion, in which we'll be focusing on lesson 127 of A Course in Miracles. And before we start, let's glance through and energetically accept these guidelines that we have often discussed in the past. So please take a look. We'll be kind, we'll stay course-centered. In our kindness, we'll always and automatically be respectful. And we'll have no choice to do that as we invite the Holy Spirit to guide all our interactions. Fabulous. So let's dive in. So in this lesson 127, there is a blessing towards the end of the lesson which can guide us as we start this lesson. And this blessing is from the capital S self, which is the same as the Holy Spirit. It says, and we can just settle in and listen in a stillness that we all know. I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you. For I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love but God's, and yours and mine and everyone's. So let's take a little bit of a deeper breath and just let everything go as we exhale. Just a deep sigh that's known to really calm our parasympathetic nervous system. And in case you didn't know this trick, you can use it at other times of the day. Okay, so let's dive in. Like I said, I'm going to start sharing, and I have prepared some questions that I'll be asking all of us regarding this lesson as we start to read through it. So this is the first paragraph, and I'm going to invite Bernie to please read us this first paragraph, and then I will ask that question of you, Bernie, and then we'll go to everybody else.
Yeah. Lesson 127, there is no love but God's. Perhaps you think that different kinds of love are possible. Perhaps you think there is a kind of love for this, a kind of love for that, a way of loving one, another way of loving still another. Love is one. It has no separate parts and no degrees, no kinds nor levels, no divergencies and no distinctions. It is, like itself, unchanged throughout. It never alters with a person or a circumstance. It is the heart of God and also of his Son.
Thank you, Bernie. The question I had, which kind of kicks us off, is can you share maybe some examples of these different kinds of love that this paragraph is talking about, which the ego constantly presents to us? And also consider what these different varieties of forms of love, how that obscures the idea that love is a single unchanging principle.
Oh, that's a good question. There's a lot to it. First of all, I just want to comment that I think there's over 70 different definitions of the word love in the English dictionaries.
Really? Wow.
So that, that would be an indicator of different kinds of love. And there is, some people consider love as a romantic expression. We have love that we would consider that we have for our child or an infant. There's a love that we have for, some people would look at love as loving things and being attached to things that, what they're attached to, they would say, I love. And there's, then as there are levels, there's hierarchies. So my love for one person is greater than my love for someone else. And in all of that, we're missing out on the true love that we are created as, that expression of love that we are created as in the image or the love of God that encompasses all of it, but isn't attached to any of it. It's just our way of being.
Thank you.
Did that cover the nuances of your question?
Yeah, I to a large extent it did, but I know there's more because obviously, we have our own way of looking at it. Sora will add more.
You're
Is
muted.
still muted.
Coincidentally, the book I'm working on, which should be out soon, is all about love. So I have one of my essays, which I just opened, has more definitions of love. So we think love, eros, romantic love, ludus, playful love, storge, companionate love. Pragma is pragmatic or practical love. Mania, possessive love. And agape, which is selfless love. And that comes from one researcher named, where is his name? John Allen Lee. There's also Joseph Campbell had 5 levels of love. And I think they were just mentioned, but there's love of master to student, and then there's a love of friends, and then there's parents and children, and then their spouses. And this was from the Eastern tradition, and the highest form of love from the Eastern tradition is illicit love. To love God so much like you would love an illicit lover. That's the highest form of love.
Wow, beautiful. That further expounds on this question and this central principle. Thanks, Sora. Uma is next.
Well, I wanted to quote Shakespeare that love's not love that alters when it alteration finds. which is a rephrase of something you said. It doesn't change no matter what's going on. And then the other one I want to add is one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right. One love. Okay, the only one love. Now, the other thing I'm really happy about, you're having this conversation, which I didn't think I'd like at all. But while you were all talking, I realized that within the last 2 weeks, my love began to have the quality of sameness. The love I have for the person I used to hate is the same as the person I've always loved greatly. And I'm sitting there going, is this for real? Yeah, it's like a patina. It's the same everywhere. I might have other reactions to your voice or how you dress or what whatever. I might have a reaction to how you talk to me, but the love that I feel is the same. So I'm very happy you had this conversation. I would have never noticed that.
Well, I'm going to raise the stakes a little bit. And maybe, Uma, you don't get to answer this question based on what you just shared. In this same paragraph towards the end, which you can look up if you wish, I'm not sharing, it says that love never alters with a person or a circumstance. So my question is, if we raise the stakes here, what is your first emotional reaction to this absolute statement? It never alters. Doesn't matter who the person is or what the circumstance is. Sora, your hand is still raised. Maybe you didn't mean to, but you may still speak.
I will,
Okay.
and then I will answer because I've been thinking about it. And it's really what Uma said. One of the essays that's in the book is called One Love, and that's exactly what I say, that there's all these different descriptors for love. I have a whole poem with others. Love is innocence, love is authenticity, love is what I end up with. Love is a state of being. And that's, love is that, it's where we came from. The Course says love created me like itself. So to stand in the presence of innocence is to be that love, whatever expression it manifests in form. But the source is one, and it's who we are.
Thank you. Thank you. Stephanie, you're next.
Okay, I want to clarify. You're just asking us our emotional response to that. Okay.
Yes, yes.
My emotional response is to feel relief, to feel secure, to feel grateful, because there's something you could count on.
Okay, thank you. Andrew?
Thank you. Seems to me like if it can be defined with words, it isn't really love at all.
Oh, wow, beautiful. Short and sweet. Yes, Johanna.
What I like about all those worldly forms of love, though, is they form like a bridge to practice real love. So if, for instance, the relationship where that comes very close into view is the parental love. Parents sometimes will give their life for their children. They love their children so much. And that can be a special relationship, sure, and it often is. But it's also a bridge to a holy relationship. And the same holds for all the other types of love. So for friends love, well, all the ones that Sora mentioned, I forgot all the names. But anyway, they all form the possibility. It depends on the teacher you choose. Am I guided by the ego or am I guided by the Holy Spirit? That ultimately decides what that special love really is, what the content of that special love really is. That's what came to mind. Thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Johanna. As the Course also reminds us, uh, everything that we experience are lessons that the Holy Spirit and God would teach us. And obviously, if we didn't see familial and parental love, if we didn't experience it, what chance do we have of broadening that concept and that experience to anyone or anything else? And so that's our preparation. And obviously, if we look deeper, like Bernie also reminded us, we are from that source. And then finally, the Course tells us about removing the barriers to all love, which is the only thing we need to do with the assistance of the Holy Spirit. So everything points to that same central idea. Laura, you're next.
It's interesting that we're discussing this today. I wasn't expecting it. But I had a meeting with people I had a meeting with last week, whom I was terrified to meet with. And today, something just let go, and there was no fear, there was no worry, there was no concern. I was actually happy to see them and to look into their faces and to look into their eyes to see who is there. And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience compared to last week. And the fear just wasn't there. And I actually felt rested. Usually after a meeting like that, I'm last time I spoke about this, I think I said I was buzzing, my body was buzzing. This time it was floating. It was just so happy, just content and happy, and oh, what a beautiful day was the feeling. So yeah, it was great.
Thank you for sharing that. Laura, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Please, in that floating feeling, the feeling of peace, through that, please share and read to us paragraph 2.
Okay. Love's meaning is obscure to anyone who thinks that love can change. He does not see that changing love must be impossible, and thus he thinks that he can love at times and hate at others. He also thinks that love can be bestowed on one and yet remain itself, although it is withheld from others. To believe these things of love is to not understand it. If it could make such distinctions, it would have to judge between the righteous and the sinner and perceive the Son of God in separate parts. Not what I experienced today at all.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
There's someone else here who might want to express what's in their heart. Please speak up or consider raising your hand. Stephanie.
I'm really grateful, Manu, for what you spoke about after Johanna spoke about, the parental love. And when you spoke about, that's sort of the beginning, and then that's the foundation, and then we can grow from there, because that explains so much. So if a parent did not feel the parental love from their parents, it would be very difficult, unless they did a lot of work, to show it to their children in a way that the children would feel it. So I just feel very grateful for what you shared, because I've been really thinking deeply about my parents and what they experienced in their lives before I was in their life, and how that affected me. And just really, I have never felt I love my parents more than I do now. But when I was growing up, I used to write in my journal, I hate my father. I hate my father. It was really sad. I guess it's sad. I don't know. Maybe it's not sad in a way, but um, it just was very useful to me that you shared that, and I'm grateful for this discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for Johanna bringing that up. Like you also said, it's yeah, if as we look into our specific and more general life circumstances, it becomes so obvious that the will of the divine and therefore our central will is at play. It's just beautiful if we look at it once we find ourselves in this love. Philip?
Oh yeah, this is really good. Just tell a couple of experiences. Before I even started practicing course, this light came in and said, "I love you more than you'll ever know, more than you can ever imagine." Literally, I was like knocked on the head with love, and I just wanted to give it away, give it away. But I was still seeing all these things, degrees, kinds, levels, divergencies, distinctions, and I really, really was motivated to just love, love, love. But I had all those blocks, so I had to work through all that. And so then when I practiced forgiveness for the very first time in public, everything in the room turned into light. And there was this dancing, beautiful love again, man. And it was like, oh my God. So forgiveness frees my fear of love, and everything is one and joined and loving and sharing. And then I still had a lot more forgiveness to do, but I did have a nice experience last night. I was lucid dreaming with the Holy Spirit. I think for the first time, he was talking to me, and I was agreeing with what he said, and I think I would let go of some final blocks, to the idea that this world is real, because I was like saying, so none of it, not one of it, nothing. Like not even this. What about this last defense I've been holding on to? And I was like, okay. And then I did some reading with my girlfriend, and I went downstairs and I just felt this boundless love, just couldn't be contained. It was just flying off of me and ricocheting all over the room, just like it was in the restaurant that day. And it's getting easier just to stay there, and I think when you ask what would be my reaction to that first paragraph, it had always been a little bit of okay, there's some hope there, but there's also like, that's overwhelming. How could I walk around and not have all these distractions and these judgments that keep me from, fulfilling this, you know? And it just seemed overwhelming for a while, but I just kept working. And wow, it's so good to be with you guys. I just feel the love. I see it. I love you guys. I know it's here, just flying all around us. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for that blessing, Philip. And like we read earlier, I bless you, dear brother, as well. And so the blessing goes all around to
Yeah.
you, to us, back to us. It's beautiful. Bernie, please speak.
So love and blessings, or blessings of love to you, Philip, and to everyone here. One thing that triggered a bit was Stephanie, when you said love, you hated your parents, and you journaled I think you said something to that effect, that there's hate. And there's we love to hate and we hate to love. And a lot of times in our day-to-day lives, people will say, I hate you, actually meaning I love you, but will be afraid, unwilling to just express that, unwilling to say I love you. And so we can kind of get caught up in what that is. So when we have any fear, we will say I hate you, as opposed to I love you. And when we're in that loving place, then we'll open up to being more expressive of being loving. The other thing I think it was you, Johanna, or Sora, you talked about, that love is what shows up, or love can have so many different meanings or the way we want it. And what came to mind was Alana Miles and, the song, "Love is what you want it to be. Love is heaven to the lonely. Show me what you want me to do, because love is what I've got for you." And that song, that song just kind of jumped into my mind of, love is what you want it to be. And when we want to connect and when we want to share that, however we share it, the words are less important, whether it's hate or love. We're still coming from that place of wanting to connect, even though we might be disconnecting, but we're still, even when we're wanting to be disconnected, we're still staying connected to whomever we may be. And that's the love that's keeping us connected with others.
Thank you, Bernie. Stay there. Before we go to you, Uma, I think Stephanie may have a response or something to say to Bernie.
Yeah. I am so touched by what you said. I just feel like it shifted something in my mind in terms of how I saw my childhood and the feelings I had towards particularly my father. And I never thought of it that way at all. And so I'm going to have a chance to I feel like right now in my life, like things are shifting where things I thought I knew and I believed, and now they're different. But it's true, I did love my father, and I never thought of the feeling of hatred as having so much fear in it, but it did. And he had fear, and it's so clear. We were both having so much fear, and I guess there's more for me to see, but I just wanted to thank you, Bernie.
Great. Thank you to you both. Uma, you're next.
Oh, I'm sorry. My speaker was on. I hope I didn't say anything. Philip reminded me that the last time I fell into the love state for a day on Earth Day, it was actually, I called it wiggly love. Because it's intense and it's like everything's wiggling. You can like tell this isn't real, and it's like vibrating with like boom, boom, love. It was just intense, and that went on for 24 hours. And then but what I've been having these last several days, it's love. It's just like that, but it's more like a smell or a flavor. And one of the things, you couldn't define it. I mean, I could say wiggly, right? Wasn't me? And uh in a Christian Scientists, they define God as mind, substance, love, light. These are all non-tangibles, but so the thing I'm experiencing is it's like a substance, it's like a smell, it's there and it's covering everything, so it doesn't matter how they're acting. They can be like completely whacked, but it's like that's why I said patina. It's like it's a smear across everything. Oh God, I love you guys. I'm so glad.
It reminded me of that metaphor of the movie or the television screen, which is always there. And then on it dance all the images of the film that we are experiencing. And so thank you, Uma. Who would like to read us the next paragraph, which is paragraph 3? Bill, go for it. Let me start sharing. You are muted in case you didn't know.
There we go. Number 3. Love cannot judge, as it is one itself. It looks on all one, on all as one. This meaning lies in oneness, and it must elude the mind that thinks of it as partial or in part. There is no love but God's, and all of his love. There is no other principle that rules where love is not. Love is a law without an opposite. Its wholeness is the power holding everything as one. The link between the Father and the Son, which holds them both forever as the same.
What more would you say, Bill?
Yeah, well, it just keeps on going on my head what it's trying to say, that we are one and this is one and I'm not an individual. And I'm in a really different state in this last few days, actually, since I was delivered some very serious dreams that was meaningless, except that I was just completely being played with by all the characters in the dream, where I was like the one out of all the people in the group that were with me that they were all playing with. Okay, so that held me for quite a while. I woke up out of that dream at wide awake at 5 a.m. I could not go back to sleep, and I was this wide awake and very, very hurt that spirit or the machine in the body that I'm in would play these dreams in my head that I would feel this way. So I was very upset, and it's like, I'm not gonna, like, I gotta do something. So what I did is I scoped out my journey to go to Ethiopia, to the lava lakes. I know exactly how long it's gonna take me to get there, 21 hours to fly and to go up the hill and all the RV trip to finally get to the open gateway, the lava lake. So I looked at that journey after I had this dream. So just to give you an idea of the state that it put me in, and I've been in it now for the last 3 or 4 days. And I am not feeling love. I don't feel it. I can't. I can't feel anything. I don't feel anything. I don't feel hate. I don't feel nothing. I just am nothing, dead to it, dead to the world. And then when my wine wants to think about the world, it's like I can't think about the world anyways. And then if someone wants to tell me about the world or love or anything, it's like none of the minds can tell me anything. They're all nothing, and they're all unable to even perceive. So I'm like in this state of where and because I'm not feeling the love, I got to find some way to feel this love, because I know it's still here. I know it's there. I've just been shot out of it for whatever reason. And I know it's going to come back. Well, I believe it will. And I'm just sitting here listening to what people are saying about love, knowing that nobody can know anything anyways. So how can I listen to anything? You know, I think this is where we have to end up and be for a bit, when you realize that we can't know nothing, and therefore nobody can know nothing, and anything that anyone is saying is nothing. And so I want to try to find out with you how to deal with this and maybe how to live in this. And it's kind of coming to me. It says, yes, we're just going to live and go on and listen to nothingness that is being spoken, but realize that the love is on the bridge of the words that we're saying, and the love is still going. And Bill, don't be too focused at all on what anyone is saying, and be fine with that. It's not going to make sense. Well, I always in my heart want it to make sense. I want everything to come in line and come in line, and we're all talking the same thing. You know, we all know that what our experiences are is nothing. We are in God's love, and God's love is all there is. And this is all we can talk about. Talking about anything from the past and how I felt from the past just is like, I can't do it anymore. I won't think about it anymore. So now I'm sitting in this state of nothingness with you, and I can't feel the love. And I don't want it back. I don't want anything. I'm just now in the state. I don't know what else to say. It's loveless.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for expressing yourself so completely. And Andrew, why don't you go next, please, to I guess respond to Bill.
Yes, thank you. I did have a comment on this, but I think it's more important to respond to Bill. Bill, it sounds to me like if you're not feeling anything, like as far as an emotion goes, it sounds like you're in a state of peace of mind. Wouldn't you say that? Because if you don't feel anything, that's got to be peaceful. It can't be violent. It can only be peace.
Well, no,
So-
because I do have a bit of a resentment or grievance that I'm not feeling anything. So I've got that. So I do have that grievance, you know. Otherwise, it would be peace. If I could just let it be as it is, as Keith tells us to do, just accept everything as it is. What if everything was perfect as it is? And that's what I'm trying to get to. And still having the resentment a little bit inside that I'm not feeling the love. So that the love is what used to guide me to what to do and where to do and how to do, because I was moving behind love. But now that I'm not feeling it, it's like I think to do something and it's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I'm just focusing on my engineering work, which isn't a problem. So I just got to do my problems and solve and crunch the numbers and say the foundation will be this. And that's fine. And I just run my brain on that over and over and over. And I just, when I'm not doing that, I'm sitting in nothing with a little grievance that I don't have anything. And it seems like I can't have anything here then, because there is nothing here. So that's why I charted out my map, how long it takes me and what the journey is going to be. It's going to cost $4,000 for the flight. And, you know, I'll do that journey maybe then. Go up to the lava lake. And I sure would never be in front of a lava lake and not go in, I'm sure. I don't think there's no way. If I got to the lake, I'm going in. Yeah, man.
Thanks, Bill. Andrew, why don't you please hold on to the question or comment you had in general, and let's continue on this for a little bit. Johanna, you know what I was going to say? I was, when I raised my hand, I was going to say I'm going to channel Johanna and give a response to Bill. And so I'm thinking and betting that you'll say exactly what I think you were going to say. So you go next.
Oh dear, oh dear. You're raising the stakes. What came to mind, Bill, is that love is an experience. It's not a thing that we can theorize about. Oh, we do it. We've done that in the past half hour. We've talked about it, and so, but still, love is an experience. And where is it experienced? In a relationship. And who do we have to have a relationship with? Everybody around us. So the people that you're drawing your foundations or calculating your foundations for your business, those relationships, in those relationships, love can blossom. And if you don't feel the love, it's when I'm talking to myself. If I don't feel the love, it's because I'm not bringing it. So if I have a relationship in you know, I'm retired, but during my work time, and it was a difficult relationship, and it didn't go the way I liked it to, it's because I didn't bring the love. I had resentments that kept me from bringing the love. And so the door to feeling the love is to open it in yourself and let it stream into a relationship. Doesn't matter what relationship. Can be your dog, can be a foundation, can be a project, can be art, can be anything. That was what came to mind. And I don't know if that's what Manu was thinking.
So let me add to that because of what I said earlier and what you said, Johanna. So the primary relationship, which is obviously only the one with the one, also means that you can have, to build on what Johanna said, you can have that relationship with the Holy Spirit. And what Johanna, I thought would say is share your existing experience entirely with the Holy Spirit. Make it even more blatantly present and give it up and see what the Holy Spirit does with it, and then listen for any instruction, even if it means you just keep staying as is, doing nothing, feeling nothing. So, Bernie, you're next.
I'll speak to you, or speak to your comments as well, Bill. And just and I don't need an answer to this, but just the questioning, if you're feeling nothing, are you feeling nothing? Are you feeling resentful? Because there's something. Resentful is something. And often when we've had, and the way the Course describes it is we get experiences of enlightenment, we get experiences of love that show up. And when they're not showing up, it's quite possible to go into that state of upset, that state of resentment, that state of nothing, that doesn't have that fulfilling feeling that we might have in that place of being, in place of experiencing that love. And it is, as Johanna said, it's an experience. And the only way that we get to the experience is to be. So rather than trying to want to evacuate the nothingness, we want to evacuate the resentment. When we can go, I'm willing to be with all of it, and invite ourselves to self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness is like the bridge, and the Course says that we take the steps to come to that place of loving presence, and God carries us or brings us across the bridge. And the stream, if you could visualize, and this is there's an old Indian story of the salt man. You probably might have heard of it, Manu. But the salt man thinks he's so wonderful, and that's not what I'm suggesting here, but the salt man goes and runs around all over the country, and he decides that he wants to learn to swim. So the salt, when it goes in the water, dissolves. Our resentments are what we carry. We can't, the only thing that we can carry, we get carried across the bridge, and our forgiveness washes away all of that doesn't serve us, the resentments, the nothingness, to come to that place of wholeness as it goes through the water beneath the bridge. So the forgiveness is the washing away. The salt man dissolves, the resentments, the nothingness dissolves into the fullness of the love that we are. When we allow it and are willing to be with everything, what doesn't serve us gets washed away. So I'll leave that with you. And that I would suggest is how I've come to find being in a place of love in what I believe to be the absence of it.
Yes. Keep burning.
Manu, we
just
cannot hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm glad you saw me speak, and
Yeah.
here I was wondering if Stephanie was hearing me. Obviously you couldn't, none of you could. So Stephanie, you're next, please. Thank you so much, Bernie. That was beautiful.
So what I want to say, Bill, is that I see trust as an important aspect of love. I'm not saying they're exactly the same thing, but you showed so much trust in us to express yourself the way you did. And I'm so proud of you for being so honest and raw. And I just want you to know that what I saw, because I'm very into like seeing people's expression, and I felt as soon as you started to speak, there was so much love and care for you in what I perceived in people's faces and demeanors. And I just want you to know I care, and I feel everybody here cares. And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much. Sora, you're next. And after Rich speaks, I want to go back to Andrew, see if he still has that comment. And have Andrew, I'd like you to read paragraph 4 for us before we call it quits for today. Sora?
So much of what I've heard about love is there, it's like a subject object. There, you have to love something or someone. And what had occurred to me is that's not what love is. Love is authenticity, or the closest thing in the course to what I see as love is in the teacher's manual, where it talks about the characteristics of teacher of God. And one of the characteristics is honesty. And honesty is when everything is in alignment. Body, mind, emotions, words, and everything is aligned with the core of your being, so that you're in speaking truth from that core of your being, you're expressing love. And the more we act from that core of our being, which is what's, I see connected to the Holy Spirit, connected to God, connected to the universe, the more we speak from that core of our being, the more we feel that fullness. And an absence of love would be a feeling of emptiness, and like, how many people running around the world just feeling empty, disconnected. So to me, love is connection to source, and it doesn't need, and somebody just said that, it doesn't need something to love. It's who we really are. One of the workbook lessons, love which created me is what I am. And so I'm saying is, the more we connect to that core of our being and act from that, we are being love. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Sora. Rich?
Yeah, just want to go for something. I saw there about paragraph 2:2, changing love is impossible. So, and there's a sentence in this book, there is no difference between love and joy. So joy being great happiness and delight every moment, about everything, every thought leading to every word, leading to every action, nothing but perfect joy, perfect happiness, perfect delight, perfect love. So, either I'm willing to live that way or not. I mean, I know you said you're on paragraph 4, but coming up later, it says there about, in paragraph 9:3 about whenever you give up a false belief. I know what my false beliefs are. I know what my beliefs are that are not perfect peace, joy, love, goodness, the will of God. And I'm not willing to give them all up. But if I was, that's the goal, is to be able to give them all up and have nothing but perfect joy every moment, the same thing as perfect love.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you so much. Andrew, do you still remember what you were gonna comment
Yeah.
on earlier?
Yes. Paragraph 3, it says, love's meaning lies in oneness, and it must elude the mind that thinks of it as partial or in part. So that tells me that as long as we're in a body, we might get glimpses of love because we can lay the ego aside for a little bit and feel that wiggly love that Uma described and that Philip described so well. But we can't stay there. We can't stay there. We have to get back to the illusionary world that we think we're in. So that was my only comment on paragraph 3. If you want,
Okay, I think Stephanie, do you want to share anything related to this topic before we jump to reading number 4?
I had one more thing I wanted to share about the conversation with Bill. I feel I got this from the Holy Spirit, but I'll just share it. We were having like this tremendously deep experience of people loving each other and feeling a lot of love, and we're talking about this lesson. Maybe the purpose, maybe the part of the reason we had this whole discussion was to give Bill, to give you the space to share what you're going through, what you're experiencing, and because we're all one. So we care about you so much, and we care about ourselves and each other. And of course, there's only one of us. So I get tripped up on that. But anyway, I just want to say, I feel there's something about this whole meeting that's so important. And what you shared, Bill, was very important part of it, as I perceive it. That's my perception. Thank you.
Totally makes sense, Stephanie, because as Bill is experiencing it, it means a part of us is experiencing that. So that needed to be surfaced. So you're spot on. Thank you. Andrew, I think we can continue this study and this deepening with your reading of paragraph 4.
Certainly. No course whose purpose is to teach you to remember what you really are could fail to emphasize that there can never be a difference in what you really are and what love is. Love's meaning is your own and shared by God Himself. For what you are is what He is. There is no love but His, and what He is everything there is. There is no limit placed upon Himself, and so you are unlimited as well.
Andrew, feel free to say something, but I just want to say something about this. So are you unlimited as well? What's your reaction to that? Maybe not necessarily to answer that right now, because we're out of time for this discussion, but maybe something to reflect on. How do we perceive it when God Himself, through these words of Jesus, tells us that there is no limit placed upon Himself, and so are you unlimited as well? Can we take it? Can we accept it? Andrew?
Yes, I have contemplated this many times, trying to feel it, but we are all there is. This illusion is a big distraction, but in our reality, we're one with God. There is nothing else that exists apart from God and us, which is all life. I think life and God are synonymous. Life exists, time and space don't exist, but life exists. And it's something that I think about a lot. Thank you.
Andrew, that's beautiful. So this life is experienced through our beingness. As someone else said in the chat, beingness is in being in love is love, God Himself. So as we be, so are we love. Thank you so much.